Hey, everybody. I've got a very special guest today. You can see I've got Steve Crosby with us. Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Good afternoon, Spokane.
It's awesome to see your face. We miss you.
It's the gray fox, the silver fox, the silver ghost, live and in person.
You're showing me up here. Your video equipment is much better than my
Oh,
old Mac.
well, I've sprung for a few upgrades here. So
I like it. Looking good.
awesome. Thanks.
Well, I'm excited because I obviously got you on interview. It'll be fun for people to hear what's going on with you.
Sure.
But I'm also excited because we've definitely tried some different drinks here on my
Uh-huh.
Wednesday at the Well. And
I've been following that.
today I'm getting to try, embarrassingly so, my most favorite drink in the world, I think, maybe.
Oh, wow.
And for those of you that haven't guessed yet, Steve and I are going to be drinking Diet Coke together today.
But mine is a
Oh,
rare specialty.
okay. Tell me
Actually,
about your your
this
vintage.
this is vintage. This is
Okay.
amazing. Now, check it now. Check it out here. Now look,
Ooh,
this is sugar-free cherry, and they
wow.
don't make it anymore. They've
Whoa.
dropped it from their product list, the SLBs.
No
And
way.
seriously, you can't even buy it because I guess that the company was having some bottom line issues, and they went through their product list and axed a bunch of products. Of course, they
Years.
axed my
Oh
favorite drink.
no.
So
Oh
they got the
no.
sugar version if you want to have
Okay.
diabetes. This
Uh-huh.
is the phenylketonuria version if you want your liver to turn into cement. So I'm choosing a cement liver over diabetes.
Cheers to cement livers. Here,
Cheers
we'll
to
give it a little
cement livers.
cheers.
Cheers to
Cheers.
this. Here we
Nice.
go. Cheers.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. Now this is cherry zero. You know,
Mm,
the sweet essence of Pacific Northwest cherries,
cherries.
rendered specifically and processed into this finely carbonated product. This soon shall be a classic.
That
I
is
have the last two bottles in
only
Wiley,
two.
Texas.
You didn't buy out, like, you didn't get crates of it, huh?
That's all
Just
they had before I figured out they were discontinued. But I
really?
thought somebody
Oh
was
my
just being a
gosh.
jerk.
That is
It's
funny.
a it's a plot, man.
It is.
They want to give you they'll sell it to you if you want diabetes.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Exactly.
230
Exactly.
grams of sugar in 8 ounces. 8 ounces. 8 ounces. I sweat more than 8 ounces in 5 minutes. I'm talking
Oh,
32 ounces, or you're not even a
oh.
professional.
Yeah, right? Come on. I remember, this is embarrassing. I remember in my young adult years switching from the only thing I changed in my diet was I just stopped drinking regular pop. And at that time I was drinking like Mountain Dew and
Ooh,
just went to diet, and I lost like 20 pounds.
it's actually pretty disturbing when you see the pictures. Like,
It's,
how much sugar is in
oh,
230
it's,
grams?
yeah,
It's a mountain.
I know. It's
It's a
very
mountain.
disturbing.
Yeah. Well,
So,
it's kind of funny, but I just growing up, I just never developed a taste for alcohol. So it's not like on a sort of
mhm.
any holiness thing. You know, maybe a nice cold beer on a really hot day. God forbid a warm beer. That is really
Oh, yeah, that's horrible.
that's like drinking pee,
That's,
and
yeah.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
Or maybe a glass of wine with dinner, but that's about it. Because I'm also I'm a bad drunk. You know,
Oh,
so
okay. Well, that's
some
good. So you're saving all of us by
yeah,
not,
I'm
yeah.
saving. Yeah, I'm a depressive drunk. So I got enough of those demons without
Yeah,
feeding them.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's good.
My wife, on the other hand, she was
She's
raised a good Catholic, and the nuns told her how to drink.
okay.
As the nuns were teaching her poker
Yeah,
and
and
drinking
how to
hard liquor.
drink. Oh
Yeah.
my Lord, that's
Actually, got a
scary.
funny story on that. When Rita left Spokane, I think it was. You know, the young kids wanted to take her out. We're going to show you a good
Oh
time.
no, no.
They're going to do shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess who's the only one left standing?
I don't even have to guess. I know on that one.
They were comatose, conked with their heads on the table, and Rita's going,
Party?
show
What happened
show
to
me
the
the beat.
party?
But
Oh
you
my
know, they really
gosh.
thought they were going to show this old lady a good time. You know,
Oh my
they
goodness.
didn't
Yeah, they
know.
don't know. They don't know
No,
Rita.
no, they don't know.
They
Now,
don't know
as she's
Rita.
gotten older, she's not as robust as she used to be. But the sister
That's
can handle her liquor.
Well, being a fellow Coke fanatic, do you have, for those of us that really love our Diet Coke, we all probably have like the place that we like Diet Coke from the most. So for me, that would be, it's the only thing I ever order from McDonald's is just Diet Coke. I love McDonald's Diet Coke. I don't know what sort of magic they put into it, but it's, do you have a place that's like your favorite Diet Coke?
Any place that cleans the bacteria out of the tanks. I got a chick fired for that once.
Because it wasn't clean?
Yeah, listen, I drink Diet Coke. I know what it takes. I'm at like a Burger King or something, right? And she gives me this Diet Coke, and it's flat, and it's no good. And I'm real polite. I said, listen, this is not right. I don't know whether you need, your tank is off. Or she was
something's off.
Yeah, so she was real snotty, snotty. She messed with the wrong brother. So I called the manager over, and I was real polite. I said, I've owned my own business. I know how hard it is to get good help, and this young lady is not helping your business. And all the other staff behind this girl's back were going. They're like making faces. And
she obviously was a problem there.
She was a problem. Yeah. So I don't think she was employed much longer. But to seriously answer your question, I like the places where they have the flavor machines where you can mix it yourself. I don't know what they call those freestyle machines or something. So any place that's got one where they actually let you mix it yourself.
Okay, so like I know, like here that would be like Wendy's has those.
Yeah, some Wendy's have them. Jack in the Box has them. Some Burger Kings have them.
Which I like those too, except when you get the person that has never used one before. I don't know, they've never used one before, but they're like up there for 10 minutes trying to figure out how to use the thing.
Listen, my first time on one of those was like a senior citizen moment. I'm going, huh? Or the first time
how does this work?
The in-store menu, instead of going to the counter like at McDonald's. I was like,
yeah, it's supposed to help with time, and sometimes I'm just like, what is happening here?
Well, I figured it out.
That's good. That's good. Now you're a pro. Now you're a pro. Okay. Well, that's good. The other place that I feel like has really good for anybody that, wants to do horrible things to their liver, Costco. Costco's Diet Coke is also really good.
Isn't it funny how you can there is bad Diet Coke?
Yeah. There is.
They get, seriously, they'll let their tank goes flat or
something
is old. But you know when it's bad.
Yep.
And you know when it's good.
Yep. Yep.
I know exactly what you're saying. So I'm in a state of mourning now that my favorite product is not.
Yeah, that's I remember back, maybe it'll be like a Coke 2 or a new Coke thing.
Oh man.
Remember when that happened?
Well, that was a disaster when they
and
they changed the formula.
Oh yeah. And I remember my dad back then buying cases of Coke. Regular Coke, because he, they were saying it was never going to be out again.
Yeah.
And so he bought cases of it. And, it was like 3 months later, I think they scrapped it. And they were like, this isn't good.
Yeah, that was an epic business lesson of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, don't fix it.
Don't mess with
I totally remember that as a kid. So maybe it'll be like that. Maybe they'll try this for a little while, and then they'll be like, all the cherry Coke people will go crazy.
Yeah, I think they will. But apparently, they did their demographic and they want to appeal to a younger crowd. So they're replacing it with some sort of spritzer.
Oh, okay.
Like
hipster kind of Diet Coke
stuff. Yeah. So you're going to see these odd flavor, young Gen X hipster type flavors that they think is going to save their.
I see. Yeah, they'll go back. Back. Cherry will be back.
Bring it back. They don't want the old people's money, I guess.
Yeah, they'll change their mind, I'm sure. Well, hey, let me get a chance, since I got you on interview here, just to ask you some serious questions. Probably just first off, how are you and the fam holding up during everything right now?
Everybody's doing really well. Interestingly enough, a couple of stories that for those of you who've been here or heard it, Rita works at just a little kiosk store. No, it's just a drive-through kiosk in a grocery store parking lot. It's about a half a mile from us. The grace of God that she landed that job. That little store is floating the entire district.
Wow. That's wild.
And I am not embarrassed to say it is in no part due to her and her loyal customers and the word it gets out. And every Sunday she wears like an outlandish hat. Like nice. For 4th of July, she's got like fireworks and flags.
Oh my God, cute.
And last Sunday she had a Tommy Bahama hat with a parrot on it. Nice. So people come from all over just to see the old lady with the hat. And,
that's awesome.
So she's doing great.
Good.
Joy's the office where she works took a bit of a hit because their major advertisement was live seminar things. But it forced them to kind of go online and do some other things. And they've more or less told her that if they have any problems, she'll be the last one standing. But currently,
good.
She's fine. And then my little side business has never been so busy. I've been doing this 11 years, and in June, I was so busy it just wasn't funny. I mean, I was making as much, in a week that I would normally make on an entire month.
That's awesome.
Just pumping it, which was great because paid off some debt, and not that we're carrying much debt, we aren't actually, but we sprung for some improved windows around here.
Nice.
And was able to pay them off like 6 years ahead of time, which is not bad.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's good.
The windows here, they had a hail was fairly regular around here, and had a hailstorm 4 or 5 years ago, and the previous owner had this replaced with a really crappy contractor grade window. They were just terrible. Probably the cheapest windows you could put in. Never So we bit the bullet and did an upgrade, and by the grace of God, was able to pay the thing off because I don't like carrying debt. But we're back at zero debt, which I'm glad.
Yeah, that's awesome. Really, really good. And this kind of quarantine shutdown kind of lends itself to your personality anyway, so you're probably not freaking out too much about it.
I just feel that my prayers have finally prevailed with God. The introvert's dream has come true. God answers prayer. Those of us who somewhat despise human beings are finding great relief. It's like, what's the difference? This is relief. They don't have to deal with those blankety blanks. Keep the blankety blanks away from these dumb blankety blanks.
So you're doing fine then, is what you're saying.
I'm doing fine. And so the rest of the misanthropic Crosbys, we're in heaven. Poor Rita. I mean, I really try to be very sensitive because she has to deal with the public all day long. Right? And this is no joke. People are out of their loving minds, and of course, who gets it? The poor baristas just trying to serve you. She has to put up with crazy humanity.
I bet
every shift, and so our family tolerance for human and Christian stupidity is very low.
Yeah, just once she gets a chance, just keep her inside so that
exactly. Give her some recovery time.
Yeah, recovery time.
And they're nasty and out of their gourds. I mean, out of their minds.
I bet.
Somebody came through the other day and dropped like $90 on a Starbucks order for their family. Sandwiches and drinks and
oh my goodness.
And then people order drink A and they get to the window and swear up and down they didn't do it. Didn't order it. And they're all aggressive about it. And scammers, scammers. So she has to put up with insane human beings. So does Joy. So, because she's dealing with the public. And so when they get home, it's our nice is gone. Though, so.
Yeah. There'll be some funny dinner time conversations, I bet, around your place.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, you better not be a fragile soul.
You
won't survive around here.
That's for sure. Well, and on some ways, on another level, you've been a lot of what you've done over the years. You're kind of ahead of the game on some of the online stuff. So in a lot of ways, you were already really in a good place to keep doing kind of what you're doing. And I guess I just want to say and I know in emails I've kind of said some things, but your video stuff, especially right now, the Monday musings that you're putting out they've just been excellent. Really good stuff. So I don't know, are you seeing any, is that getting out more than normal? Are you having any? Yeah.
Yeah, the exact numbers I don't know, but
sure,
the folks that are very, very blessed normally do make contact, and we've been getting some very, very good feedback. And honestly,
awesome.
I appreciate you saying that, because over the last 10 or 12 years, I've been trying to get more technology savvy.
You definitely are ahead of the game there.
And pretty much made a decision that, honestly, other than you guys and my friends in Florida, I'm just really not interested in the whole travel gig.
Yeah.
I can reach 1,000 people around the world with a video. I mean, why?
Why put yourself through the travel?
Yeah, exactly. Why do 24 hours stuck in a metal tube to be exhausted to reach 50 people?
Yeah.
And of course, the bad side about having something video, it's there forever, even if you migrate past what you're currently saying, which is a problem when you write and do these things. But I've had a lot of good action. Not as much as I'd like, but that's always the way it goes. You reach those that are interested in what you have to say, and those you don't. Yeah. And overall, I must say, I joke about crazy people. I'll get maybe 2 out of 100 nutters. Sure.
Which isn't that. I mean, you're going to have that if you're out speaking someplace. So.
Exactly. 2%, 3% hateful nut job Christians. Yeah. Overall, people are really blessed, and those that I like to say inquiring minds, those who are starting to say, you know what, something just ain't right. Something it's just not computing for me. So I help those people. So thanks for the encouragement. It means a lot to me.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that. I know I'm not the only one from the bridge watching those, and it's definitely encourages me. And specifically, even it's wild. This as somebody that speaks too. When you hear somebody else kind of hitting on the same inspiration that you happen to be on, it's such a nice, it's just a nice encouragement. And so then literally, I've been putting out Sunday videos, just kind of message style for the church, and kind of had turned a corner looking a little deeper at some things we've been looking at. And then you started the relational trust ones on Monday the same week. And so it was just, I think we're hitting on a lot of the same stuff, just maybe a little bit different terminology. But been talking about, and with everybody, just, about really our design as humans to be in connection with God really from the beginning, but then, Jesus restoring that connection to us and then making it so that his spirit's actually alive in us. And we have this, connection to him that we're called to walk in. And I think that's the same as, in some ways, as the relational trust thing, is that that God's calling us to, always has been about relationship and wanting to walk out life with us. And so I've been, I'll keep promoing you doing your Monday musings, but do you have any, I think sometimes where people get a little confused is that we're so conditioned to need formulas for things. And so when we hear something like relational trust, that becomes challenging, even though in the name is trust, which is going to say that there's not a formula. But I think people are challenged with kind of walking out that process. And maybe you can speak to this of like, how do we move away from formula type Christianity and faith to a relational?
brother done opened up a can.
I like to do that.
We opened up a can. How many hours do you have?
Yeah, no, just short version, I guess.
Oh my, yeah. So let me see. Let me undo 500 years of that in 3 minutes. What a great question. Oh my gosh.
We might have to do some separate sessions on that.
We might have to do that. Okay. Western Christianity in general is built and approaches the scriptures very categorically. And the idea is, if I have my categories right, I get answers and everything is sure. Otherwise, I have correct information in the right categories, and that's the way it should be. And this isn't just Christian. I mean, all Western education.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Neoplatonic and Aristotelian teaching paradigms, whether we believe it or not, if we live in our culture, we have been influenced by that.
Yeah.
The Eastern tradition, the tradition of Christianity that did not come out of Rome, but out of the Mideast, understands that experience, or I'll put it this way, experiential knowledge is the result of struggle. But struggle is not something we want to hear.
Yeah.
To what you just say, formulas that are neat and tidy, and answers for questions that are properly categorized, and just, let me put everything in my little box, do everything, and everything's fine. When in reality, the mystery of a living trust with a living being is that it cannot be reduced down to those tidy categories. It's more or less clinging for dear life when everything else goes wrong.
Yeah, that's good.
When all my theology doesn't work, and all this stuff I believe doesn't happen. And I like to say this: when you don't get your miracle, the whole point of trust is I've abandoned not just my a typical evangelist. Well, of course, I trust Jesus for my salvation. I trust him.
Yeah.
That's not the point. That it's when life throws me all the unanswered questions with no answer, I abandon my existence into him. It's not about just trusting him to get me to heaven when I die. We're not diminishing that. But relational trust is all those Psalms about a hiding place and my high tower, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff that we sing about and quote and don't live in what goes wrong. So that's the best I can do. Short.
That's
it's
very good.
State of being.
Yeah.
It's not. Let me give you an example. I guess that's the best I can do.
No, that's awesome, right, Stephen. I think you hit on something that even for myself, I guess I'm trying to let God work on, and I think a lot of Christians have experienced what you're talking about, like when everything else fails, and so when we're in crisis, lots of people find maybe this place of that kind of trust because they have to. It's like they don't have anything else, and so I maybe typically see that with people that are going through something major in their family, their sickness or divorce, or you lose a job or whatever. And so there's this dependency where they know, hey, I don't got life, and my formulas aren't working. Right. And so they turn to this place of trust to God, and you see their relationship grow. But then I think where a lot of us live is when we're not experiencing that obvious like reality of our dependence and our inability to control things, then we don't live in that connection. We don't live in that place of being, like you're saying. And so my prayer and what I've been trying to kind of press even our church towards is just, that's a place that we're called to all the time, not just when we're at the end of ourselves and we don't have, we're not in control, but anytime, all the time. And that's harder to, I think, walk out maybe because we're not.
Yep. But honestly, it's without getting into a big old sermon on a couple of points, I'll try to be concise, but it goes all the way back to the garden and even principles about offering a sacrifice, because the point was God gives the earth, we invest in it, and then you give back to God, because the giving back to God supposes the acknowledgement of my union and my trust. So there's this loop. But what happens is you cut God out. Now you're just stuck on the horizontal plane of existence. You're looking for meaning and well-being from the thing that you are created of. Otherwise, Adam was created out of the dirt, The food that we eat is created of the dirt. And so Adam goes back and looks to the same thing that he is.
Yeah.
For assurance and provision. Now
Yeah.
ours is it's the same thing. So relational trust is really the recovery of how it was supposed to be in the beginning. God gave creation to humanity. Humanity stewards it, and as a statement of my relational trust, you know, I give back the offering. I bring the fruit of the earth, blah 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 blah, all that stuff. So whole message. But it's supposed to be this cycle of giving, relational trust, and giving. But because of the fall, we look for sustenance from the same source that I'm made of. Otherwise, the created order, and that's where a problem comes in. You mentioned something about how difficult it is. I'll make this quick too. One of my favorite stories. I had somebody say to me once on what I'm about to say. It's the most non-faith message you ever heard. It's really challenged one of these faith guys. But it was when Jesus didn't get his prayers answered in this sense. Remember when John the Baptist, who's his cousin, is in jail, and John and he says, "Is he the one?" The point of the story is, your cousin is putting pressure on you to do something, and Father is saying no. Yeah. And at the end of that story, Jesus says he has to get away to pray. My conviction is the stress of relational trust when the answer is no. Even the Messiah had to get away and find a place, because that's his own cousin. You know, I can heal everybody else. You know, God says yes, all these other things. But see, relational trust includes when there's nothing happening, or you're not permitted to have anything happen.
That's good. That's really good. I've been same thing. That's I love that you took it back to the garden, because that's kind of where the Genesis started for us, and where we've been as a church. And same thing is that, if you go all the way back to the beginning, humanity's called to this amazing relationship with God, where you're walking with him and talking, and offered his life kind of all the time. And then we choose instead to something that we can control. And so we've been looking at like the idea of the knowledge of good and evil not being, this cosmic struggle of good versus evil, but it's this it's like me being in control of the knowledge of what's good and bad for me. And so that's been changing, I think, my perspective too, of like, man, and it goes back to what you said even about theology. We use our theology the same way of like, I'm just looking for what's right versus what's wrong. And then I think I'm good, and I'm not living out of any kind of relational trust at all, and so.
A friend of mine who I'm going to badly butcher a one-liner of his, he says, Jesus will always deconstruct the thing in which we have our hope that obscures a fresh unveiling of himself. So even when our confidence is in our theology, and even if it's right, and even if it's good, if it's solid, but if I build my life on my theology rather than in a living dynamic of relational trust, Jesus himself will superintend the destruction of that. The demolishing of that. So, and I like to say this way: you can go easy or you can go hard. It's not like, there's a joy in that, but in the sense of, I thought you said you wanted to know me. Man, I had that happen to me once. It wasn't. This is a bit personal. I'll make it short. But I was having a whining time, also known as prayer, and talking about this or that, and I can't remember exactly, but I do remember the response I got, and it was as clear in my inner spirit as I've ever heard. He says something like this: so in 1975, when you said I could do anything with your life that I wanted, did you not mean it? Because I took you seriously. Oh, dude. That was a serious reality check. And you know how when you're having a good prayer time, how really time ceases to exist? I mean, part of prayer when it's good is you should be experiencing a timeless dimension of existence. It was like that moment was as fresh when I was 21 years old, which was 45 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome, Steve. Yeah.
But so in the sense of, again, the Lord, he's always been that way with me, just very direct. It's like, oh, yes, oh, caught like a cockroach on the end of a Texas boot. Got to have a pointy boot to get the cockroach in the corner. And the Holy Spirit comes with his Texas boots, puts the squeeze on all my excuses.
That's a really good story. Thank you for sharing that, because I think that helps people to hear stuff like that.
Yeah, because in the middle, when you're going through something terrible, and you think, it's like, well, would I do something wrong?
All those
forget
things.
this principle, that principle, blah 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 blah, and everybody else around you is getting blessed and wonderful testimonies, and your life is the crap. Or some of the friends have heard this. I'll make this quick. So when I was working there in Spokane at the Census Bureau, and really pouting about it, because I was making $8 an hour when I was there, and angry at God, and and the Spirit of the Lord at the same time said the same thing. It's like, I'm a slow learner. He said,
join the club.
He said, well, is your life disposable at my command or not?
Wow. Yeah.
And I had a breakthrough, and we chatted about it. And he said, listen, he said, your life is changing my pocket, and I bought the pocket, and I get to spend it any way I want. I thought that's what you said you wanted me to do, back when you were in love with me, and those great worship services. Oh,
beautiful
Jesus.
Worship times.
You're so sweet, and I want to know you, Lord. Teach me your ways. And he writes it down. So honestly, I make a joke about it. I pray a lot less these days, because the Lord takes notes.
Yeah. He doesn't forget. Yeah.
No, he woos us when we're on the equivalent of spiritual hormones, and we're out of our minds.
Yeah.
And we say things like, Jesus, I want to walk with you. And he goes, I'm writing that one down. See you in 35 years.
Yeah.
We'll revisit this. All the ones where I want him to do magic and do wonderful things. Lightning bolts come out of my fingers. He doesn't pay attention to those.
Yeah.
But the one where I said I wanted to know him, it's like, oh.
Yeah. And that's the relational one. Exactly. And actually, I'm just going to say this, since I was, you were here and we were walking out relationship even closer back then, is that I know nothing changed about your circumstance. And I think that lots of times that's what we're looking for. But I remember you going through that process and seeing a marked difference in the joy that you had, the peace that you had, and just the grace that you were walking in. So it wasn't that God was rescuing you, out of a situation, but because you had, opened up to that place of relational trust with him, it did change things, not the outward things, but it absolutely changed, and how you walk through the situation. And, there's still people that you're in contact.
Yeah, right. I'll make a long story short. Yeah, a very long story short, and I'll keep it private. But there was an individual there who the Lord used me in a very dynamic way. Someday, if people are interested, I'll give them the whole details. But basically reclaimed that man's faith and his relationship with Jesus. And part of that time also, when I was wanting to the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord said to me, is that man's soul worth $8 an hour to you? And honestly, I remember I was standing in the parking lot. I just started crying.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. And because that's when he hit me with, I thought you said I could disperse you anywhere that I wanted to.
Yeah.
Again, we say a lot of goofy romantic things in high moments of spiritual ecstasy that we have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah. Very
just kind of like like having a family. When you're hormonally overcharged, it sounds great until kids show up. It's like, I had no idea it was going to be like this.
Oh, that's great.
Hey, I posted on Facebook today, how people have the funny bumper stickers on the back of their windows, your mom, dad, 3 kids, and the dog. This one has mom, dad, and a pile of money.
Oh my God. Oh, you're funny.
That's for all the misanthropic people.
Yeah, there you go. Well, this was awesome, Steve. I don't want to hold you for too long, and it's just I know people. You know, I'm sad because we usually have you up in the September. Yeah. Probably looking like that's not gonna. Who knows?
Probably not.
Who knows? But we will get you up here as soon as we can. You know, once life does. At least get back to where we can do stuff like that. Yeah, but we love you, and you know, I know you're a big part of people staying engaged. And, you know, because I do know that there's a lot of people watching the videos, and but we care about you beyond just, you know, that stuff. We love you, and
it's mutual, my friend. I think of you guys all the time. I keep abridged. I kind of wove in and out of the series you did on trees. Yeah. You know, I can't listen to every single thing, but I kind of pop in here and there, and so, I think of you all the time. So we'll see the folks next time around.
Yeah, once we can, and let's get one last cheers with our Diet Coke here.
All right, here it is.
Thank you for drinking my favorite drink with me. The rating that I give this is 5. Of course, I've 1 of 5. It gets the highest rating for sure, and that's also the rating that the damage it does to your liver. So,
I was going to say it's the elixir of life. Yeah. But not quite.
Yeah.
All right, friends.
Thank you. All right. Love you, man. And we'll see you as soon as we can.
All right, man.
All right. Bye.